While Western Europe is exploding like a powder keg, suddenly there's a government in power in Hungary that people simply love. And I mean really love. And there is another way. How could Germany actually be saved, and how could Europe be saved? You can see that right now in Hungary because there suddenly they are relying on reason and the common sense of their own people. If you'd like to support this channel, I would really appreciate a like and a subscription. Roll the clip. Above all, this crafty operator in Hungary has managed to accomplish one thing. He managed to get all three parties that are currently in government, or rather in parliament there, to swear allegiance to the crown of Hungary. And yes, in Europe, this could actually be a sign of rapprochement. And while many people say that this would cause even more trouble, I don't believe that at all. This man, as I have followed him over the past few days and weeks, and I have had some conversations with a couple of Hungarians who told me, yes, people really love him. And above all, it's important that he can unite the people. And yes, the first accusations of corruption are already being brought up again. Just wait and see how it all turns out. However, in Germany, this should really cause people extreme concern. Why? Well, you can still remember the swearing in of the Chancellor. And how many people here in Germany did not swear on the Bible and did not say, with God's help? That's exactly the crucial point.
Today, Europe is Hungarian. The people of Hungary have spoken. It is a victory for fundamental freedom.
And there's one thing he does really well. He doesn't take a blocking stance, but instead he mediates to get his money. And in the way he conducts his politics, he is extremely clever. That means, regarding the Ukrainian aid, in order to release it again, or rather now that it has been released, he made a clever move. Yes, all kinds of people can pay for that, but not us. We're pulling out. At the same time, we will implement an even tougher migration policy than Viktor Orban did. We will also continue to fight corruption in this country until it comes to a halt. So basically exactly what you would expect from a head of state. I know the internet is absolutely full of outright hateful comments. But now that I've taken a bit of time to reflect on the whole thing, I've really delved deeply into the subject. And actually, I think this head of state is wonderful. He withdraws from everything, doesn't take a blocking stance, steps in as a mediator and says, you can go ahead and do it, but without us. That's exactly the kind of behavior I would wish for from Friedrich Merz, and I'm being completely honest about that.
I'm talking about this Peter Magier. Peter Magier betrayed his wife relatively early in his life, for starters. Then he betrayed and sold his 3 children. Then he betrayed and sold Fides. Then he betrayed and sold Viktor Orban. And in a few years, he will betray and sell out his supporters, from Soros to Ursula von der Leyen and all the others.
But for now, he stands for returning to the EU for national interests to push them through relentlessly. Still, today I brought in an opponent. You need to know whom to believe and whom not to. However, as I said, as of today, he is the president I would personally like to have. He also advocates for urgently rebuilding the bridges to the EU and at the same time tear down the bridges to Trump. Just to tear something down in the direction of Donald Trump. However, the secure border concept will remain in Hungary. And it's even being expanded, and at the same time, this gentleman also stands for, and this is very, very important, more sovereignty in his own country to continue pushing this forward. That's why they immediately suggested to the president to resign, and with his 2/3 majority, all kinds of constitutional judges were simply removed from office. So again, we're addressing here that there really was corruption there, and it has been proven, mind you.
That we then use cursor, yes we can, Barack Obama. Let's put it out in the open, the disgrace. So, on some kind of poster ball, I'll say a few nice things. Yes, we can. Revolution change is change, translated into Hungarian like that.
The left is over. We will make politics for the mainstream again without any corruption. We will move the economy forward again. That was his campaign appearance, which he had. And now he has also sworn allegiance to the crown at the same time. And of course to the Klimaideolo oder dem he will continue to put a stop to the madness from Brussels, or at least move toward it in small steps. What you should think about it, however, you have to decide for yourselves now. Gerald Gross explained one side of it. I always believe people. I always trust people to really achieve exactly what they actually tell us. But ever since the last federal election, whenever I say something like this, I always have a bit of a bad feeling, like I might embarrass myself.
Competing in a democratic election is like an Olympic discipline in a dictatorship, and they actually won it. And the dictator congratulates the democratic revolutionary leader. Very interesting in relation to the claim that Viktor Orban was a dictator.
That also means the end of the illiberal axis in the east. That means Vučić is now pretty much on his own in Serbia. Fico is still there and can still engage a little. But what just happened is also a wake-up call for Europe. And that includes France, where several right-wing parties might still be able to pull off an election victory. And at the same time, just like in Hungary, they can adjust their stance and promises just like it happened in Hungary now. At the same time, the main obstructionist, though that's a difficult word, is also gone in Hungary. The scapegoat who, well, constantly pushed the EU to reconsider, so that now the 90 billion, I think, can even be paid out already. But now we know that it's no longer quite enough, and that now you actually need 140 billion. Although it has long been established, even after the election, that Germany and Ukraine are working together on weapons systems. And today the news is we're simply giving the Ukrainians a Greifswald, a gas power plant. Aren't we nice? Hungary's president definitely wouldn't do that.
And does the following in the first few minutes, which doesn't fit at all with the concept of the noble, democratic European knight, the puppet from Brussels. All constitutional judges are dismissed by a 2/3 majority.
And at the same time, he advocates for a European Public Prosecutor's Office. It's not a joke, that's really how it is in Hungary. So, this supposed Savi, or this new president of Hungary, you have to form your own opinion about this guy. Either he is the hope for Hungary, or it's the downfall of the values that Hungary actually chose. Whether he can be trusted or not, we will see in the next few days. For my part, I've put some facts on the table for you today that hardly anyone else talks about. Facts that made me think and still do. However, I feel the same way as with Friedrich Merz in that I say he has his chance now, he was elected. Show us, dear Peter, show now, yes, that you turn this country right side up, that you make the people who live there happy. That you immediately put an end to any corruption that may have existed, close the borders, and make the politicians swear allegiance to the Greens. And also immediately make the attempt to approach the EU. And please get the money that you deserve, or is that one of the big goals? And I wish you a lot of economic growth. I'll definitely wait and keep an eye on it over the next few days and weeks. And that's exactly why, because I already knew these facts beforehand, I didn't make a big video about it. Because I first wanted to know whether I'd get burned again. The hope for Europe.